Hello everyone, welcome back to Mr. Rich channel. In this video, I'll show you how I started with just $18 in my account. And through my personally developed compounding strategy, I turned it into a massive amount, all with consistency and precision. This strategy is not based on luck. I only use two powerful indicators, moving average and MACD. Combined with a disciplined entry system, what makes this strategy so powerful? It has been tested across various market conditions and delivers nearly a 100% win rate when followed with full discipline. Today, you'll watch me apply this strategy live on the market even better. This strategy isn't publicly available, but if you want to learn it in full, you can join my VIP group for free with full access to premium signals, mentorship, and my 100% accurate trading bot. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon, because I'll continue to share high-level trading strategies here for serious traders only. Now, let's begin the journey from $18 to massive profits. Alright, I placed a buy position in this market because, although the trend was clearly moving downward before, it seems to have paused right at a strong support level. When price reached this zone, I noticed two consecutive candles closing above the green moving average line, which I use as a trend direction indicator. This suggests that selling pressure is starting to fade, and buyers are stepping in to take control. This is a classic setup where a potential reversal is forming at the support area, a scenario I've seen repeat over and over again with high accuracy. So, based on that, I confidently entered a buy trade here because the technical signals are favoring an upward move. Let's see how it goes. Okay, it's a profit. Let's continue. Time to open the next market. Alright, I decided to enter a buy position in this market based on several strong technical reasons. First, I noticed that there's a potential crossover forming on the moving averages, which usually signals the beginning of a bullish trend. Second, the MACD histogram is also turning green and growing upward, a clear indication that buying momentum is increasing. And most importantly, the latest candle that just formed has a full body with no lower wick at all, which typically reflects strong bullish pressure with no rejection from sellers. This combination of signals gives me full confidence to place a buy order at this point. Let's see the result. Okay, as expected, another profit. Let's move on to the next market. I decided to enter a buy position here because I observed a strong continuation of the bullish trend. This is clearly confirmed by the breakout above the resistance level, which is represented by the red line on the chart. The most recent candle successfully closed above the resistance, indicating that buyer strength is currently dominating the market. When a key resistance is broken with conviction, it often means that an upward continuation is highly probable. That's why I chose to follow the trend and enter a buy trade right after the breakout. Remember, we don't fight the market, we follow the momentum for optimal profit potential. Let's see the result. Okay, it's a profit, just as we predicted. Let's move on to the next market. Alright, in this market, I've decided to take a sell position, and my decision is based on a fundamental trading principle. Follow the trend. If we observe closely, the current dominant trend is clearly downward. While it's true that a few candles managed to close above the green line, which could sometimes signal a reversal, the latest candle closed back below the green line. This strongly suggests that the reversal attempt has failed, and the bearish momentum remains intact. In other words, the market is likely to continue moving downward for the foreseeable future, unless a strong opposing signal appears. That's why I confidently entered a sell trade, because there's no solid indication that the trend will reverse anytime soon. Let's see the result together. Okay, just as expected, another profit. Let's move on to the next market. Okay, in this market, I've decided to enter a buy position, and the reason behind it is clear from a technical standpoint. First, if we look at the overall market structure, it's evident that the trend is currently moving upward. This isn't just a guess, it's confirmed by a strong technical signal, which is a bullish crossover on the MACD indicator. This crossover happens when the MACD line crosses above the signal line, a reliable sign that bullish momentum is building and buyers are starting to dominate the market. With a clear uptrend in place and confirmation from MACD, I'm confident that this is an ideal time to buy, right at the early stage of the trend for maximum profit potential. Let's see the result together. Alright, just as expected. Profit. Let's jump into the next market. Alright, in this market, I've decided to open a sell position, and the reason is quite clear when we look at the technical structure. First, from both the short-term and medium-term perspective, the market is clearly in a strong downtrend. We can see that bearish momentum is dominating price action significantly. All the moving average lines are sharply sloping downward, and the MACD indicators are also pointing down, indicating sustained selling pressure. In addition, the last few candlesticks are red with large bodies, which is a strong signal of continued bearish momentum. With both technical indicators and candlestick patterns aligning in the same direction, taking a sell position here is a smart, calculated move based on solid analysis. Let's see how it plays out. Alright, just as expected, another profit. Let's jump into the next market opportunity. Alright, I've decided to open a sell position in this market, and it's not a random decision. From a technical perspective, we can clearly see that a crossover is occurring on two major indicators, the moving averages, MA, and MACD. On the moving averages, the green line has just crossed below the yellow line, which typically signals a shift in momentum towards the downside. Meanwhile, on the MACD, there's a clear bearish crossover between the MACD line and the signal line, along with red histogram bars starting to appear, further confirming that sellers are beginning to dominate. With this combination of strong technical signals, this sell position is based on strategy, not emotion. Let's see how this plays out. Okay, another profit. Let's continue to the next market. Okay, I decided to open a buy position in this market, and there's a solid technical reason behind this move. If you look closely, the last green candle has closed above the red line, which is currently acting as a strong resistance zone. Typically, when price touches resistance, it bounces back down. But in this case, I made a different call. And here's why. First, the candle that broke through the resistance wasn't just any candle. It was a Marubozu candle, which represents strong buying pressure with no rejection or hesitation from sellers. Second, the Marubozu was followed by a doji candle, which signals indecision in the market. When you see a Marubozu followed by a doji right at a key resistance, it often means that the market is preparing for a breakout to the upside. Let's see the results. Okay, just as expected, profit. Let's open the next market. Attention! You need to understand, the strategy I've shown you in this video is not an ordinary method. This is part of my premium strategy, and I only teach it in full inside the VIP group. There are a lot of so-called profitable strategies out there, but this one has been personally tested and proven by me over the years. And it can reach up to 100% accuracy under certain market conditions. So if you're serious about learning and mastering this strategy the right way, the only way is to join my VIP group. Okay, I've decided to take a buy position on this market based on some very strong technical signals. First, We can clearly see a bullish crossover on the MACD, which is often one of the earliest signs of a potential trend reversal to the upside. This crossover indicates that buying momentum is starting to overcome the previous selling pressure. But that's not the only reason. What confirms and strengthens my buy decision is the appearance of two full-bodied candles in a row. This pattern signals aggressive buying pressure and high market confidence in the upward move. So with both indicator confirmation and candle strength, this is what I consider a high probability buy setup. Let's see how this trade plays out. Okay, just as expected, profit. Let's open the next market. Okay, I decided to open a sell position on this market, and there are several strong technical reasons behind this decision. First of all, the overall trend is clearly bearish, as seen from the recent dominance of red candles. This indicates that sellers are in control and pushing the price downward. Secondly, if we take a closer look, we can see that several previous candles have consistently closed below the green line, which I use as a dynamic support based on the moving average. When price closes below this line, it signals a clear break of support and continued selling pressure. And third, both the green and yellow moving average lines are sharply pointing downward, adding further confirmation that the bearish trend is not only active but also gaining momentum. Let's see the result. Okay, just as expected, profit. Let's move on and open the next market. Alright, I decided to open a buy position in this market based on some very strong and clear technical signals. First, I observed a bullish crossover on the moving averages, where the lines crossed upward, a classic indication that a potential trend reversal from bearish to bullish is taking place. But what really confirms the setup is what happened after the crossover. 3 consecutive bullish candles formed, all with similar body size and direction. This is what we call a confirmation candle pattern, showing consistency in buyer strength and increasing the probability of an upward trend continuation. Whenever a crossover is followed by this kind of clear candle formation, it usually signals that the market has shifted in favor of the bulls, and the upward movement is gaining momentum. So, with this combination of technical confirmation and price action, I'm confident this is a strong moment to enter a buy trade. Alright, as expected, profit. Now let's open the next market. Alright, in this market, we can clearly see that there has been a significant downtrend. So now let's break down why this happened. A strong downward movement like this is typically characterized by the dominance of bearish candles. In this case, we're seeing multiple consecutive red candles forming, which indicates heavy selling pressure. What strengthens this signal is the fact that each of these candles is closing below the green moving average line. This green MA line is what I often use to represent the short-term trend. And when price consistently stays below it, that's a clear confirmation that sellers are in full control. So, with this combination of strong bearish candle formation and technical confirmation from the MA, it's no surprise that the market experienced such a deep drop. Let's see the result. Alright, as expected. Profit again and again. Now let's open the next market. Alright, I decided to take a sell position on this market because I observed a very clear technical signal. A crossover on the MACD indicator. The green MACD line has just crossed below the red signal line, which is a strong indication of building bearish momentum. A crossover like this often signals a shift in control from buyers to sellers and is usually the beginning of a downward trend. Additionally, I noticed that the previous candlestick structure shows consistent selling pressure, which further confirms that the market is likely to continue moving downward in the short term. Let's see if this analysis plays out. Okay, profit just as expected. Let's move on and open another market. All right, that's enough for today's trading session. The market is currently showing uncertainty and potential sideways movement. So I've decided to stop for now and secure the profit I've made. As you can see, I started with a very small balance, and through the power of compounding, discipline, and a proven strategy, I've managed to grow it into hundreds of times more. This strategy is not shared publicly. It's a premium and exclusive method that I've personally developed and refined over time. And yes, it really works. If you truly want to learn and apply this method seriously, you can join my VIP group, absolutely free just by following a few simple conditions. Inside the VIP, you'll get full access to the compounding strategy, daily trade, signals, direct mentorship from me, and much more. Check the video description for all the details. Thank you for watching until the end. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you don't miss the next video. See you in the next one. And as always, stay disciplined in your trading.